street, they were completely rammed. They were filled up to the gunnels, they were queuing down the street. They said, you should have been here last week. I swear, you should have been here last week. Oh yeah, you should have been here last week.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the comedy podcast You Should Have Been Here Last Week, which is the show presented by myself, Steve Gribbin, and fellow comedian Paul Ricketts.
Greetings to everybody. I'm just going to say hello.
Hello. You Should Have Been Here Last Week is the podcast that uncouples the velvet VIP rope and peers backstage into the comedy darkness at the ballers, the brawlers, the crawlers, the fixers, the breakers, the troublemakers, the pioneers, the seers, the grafters, the grinders, the imitators and the facilitators that all go to make up this business that we call comedy. And today's very special guest is a man who deserves his own entry in the history of British comedy, the promoter, comedy cheerleader, a very disgruntled Liverpool fan, the owner of one of the oldest and most loved comedy clubs in the UK, the man, the legend that is Mr. Dave Vickers. Welcome to the show, Dave.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Paul.
One of the things about the fact that you run this fantastic club is in the place where it is, which is Balnk, which is a funny punchline of its own.
Yeah.
Going back to the 40s, where Balnk, gateway to the south.
Gateway to the south, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, could you have done it anywhere else but Balnk?
It's just, it has such a strange history and the demography changed. It's such a different place to when we first started. Mm-hmm. It's a bit well heeled now. It's an odd place to have comedy. Whereas it was much more rough and ready back in the day.
It was very rough. Wasn't that? It was the old stamping ground of the prostitutes used to stand on that hill, wasn't it? They were on the street corners as I was driving to work, and I would try not to catch their eyes. I was looking where the cars were coming either way. Yeah, it was a strange place, and really, really rough pub before Banana started. They got a new landlord in who got rid of all the pimps and prostitutes. There's stabbings there. It had a reputation as all over London as being a rough place, but certainly not anymore. When was the first night? I mean, basically, just for the benefit of the people who might not know the location, etc. I mean, how did it start? How did Banana Cabaret start?
It didn't start with me. It started with Andy Waring. Let's see, there was a whole group of people. Like Andy Waring used to hang around with Nick Revell, Mark Steele, Paul Merton, and there were so few venues back right in obviously in the early 80s. So it's very start of the alternative comedy kind of circuit. And because this new landlord had cleared the pub out, they lived locally, and they thought, they'd start doing comedy. They thought, get a little venue going. So Andy, who wasn't a comic, started it. I met him a few years later. Well, I was seeing woman Helen Griffin, wonderful Welsh actor who sadly passed in 2018. So she got a job on the door. I got to know Andy. The rest is kind of history. He did some work for me because he had a theatre background. I was working in theatre. We got to know each other. He said, "Oh, do you want to come and help me? I'm going to start. I want to start an actual comedy. Not with Bananas was already going, but he wanted to start a comedy theatre as well. So we started doing that." And then comedy, that stand-up just started taking off so much. We dropped the comedy theatre bit and just did stand-up.
There's loads of disgruntled actors outside. Go, you bastard.
So what was the comedy theatre bit? What was comedy theatre? Was it just like funny plays?
No. It was like people doing full-length shows. There weren't many people, like Tony Allen, Ken Campbell, people like that, and certain acts on the circuit who could do like an hour, but there weren't that many of them back in the sort of mid-late 80s. So after a while, we were not just we're running out of people, but just the whole wave really started. So we just went, look, we can fill, because it was in the upstairs room. So that's when we first started doing 2 rooms, because it's like, oh, it's getting so busy, we can just do the stand up in both rooms with people alternating. So that's how that first started. We were just on the crest of that wave.
Do you remember the first night that you were in charge? What the bill was?
No, I've got no idea. It's all a blur. Because it was sort of, because it started off with a comedy theatre for me. I've got no idea. It just all seamlessly went into sort of me being involved in the stand-up, and then Andy taking more of a back seat, and then me starting doing the bookings, and then eventually in the early 2000s, Andy leaving completely. So that's kind of how it all.
So what were you doing began. In theatre before you got into?
I'm just kind of production management and stuff, and was doing a big project on Docklands actually, as it was being before it was being redeveloped, or at the same time. And Andy, like with community theatre, and Andy came and helped me, and just obviously liked the way I worked, and we got to know each other. And then I was between jobs. He said, "Do you want to come along and do this?" And I thought, I'll do that for a few months. Sounds like a laugh, because in those days you could just go from job to job. So I did it for a few months. Obviously turned into best part of 4 decades. It was just. It's like those. You could always do different jobs, and it was fun. It was exciting. It was London in the 80s. I'll try that for a bit. That seems like a laugh. It was a laugh. Yeah, and it's continued to be a laugh.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I played it was 1983, and on the bill, I made a note. It was Ronnie Golden, Paul Martin. Because his name wasn't Paul Merton then, was it? Because he had to change it because someone else. Yeah. He joined Equity and someone else was called Paul Martin. He had to change his name.
So you were doing it, because I know I bumped into you when I was at the production manager at the Warehouse Theatre in Croydon.
Oh my God!
You did a gig there. Yeah. So because I was quite a fan of comedy anyway, so it was interesting to get involved in it.
Because that was at that time, 1983 was one of the first ever television shows that did alternative comedy. It was called Boom Boom Out Go the Lights, which I think Paul Jackson produced, and Ronnie Golden was on there, and he did a song called Stomping on the Cat, which you wouldn't be able to, I don't want to get into, you couldn't say that now. But you probably couldn't. Because he used to go stomping on the cat. Yeah. Younger viewers are now go, what the... Anyway, but that's,
I was going to go to the most important thing about the venue, which is there's lots of gigs in pubs. Loads. But I have to say that the Bedford has the best room in a pub for comedy in the UK. It's by far the best room.
Absolutely. I mean, it's iconic. It's beautiful. When you say, "Oh, I run a comedy club," it's a room in a pub. People, the number of punters who'll come in, who'll bring friends, and they'll just walk in and go, "Fucking hell!"
Yeah.
It's a beautiful round room with a balcony. So it's obviously Elizabethanish.
Yeah, I mean, it's first time I went there was as a punter, and you walk into the room, and it's, my God, King Arthur and the Round Table must have first started here. It's just a ridiculously beautiful room.
It is. It's a fabulous space for comedy.
Yeah, I remember at one point you were doing downstairs, then the middle tier, and then upstairs, weren't you?
Well, that was only very briefly. I think that was a part of the festival that we did, because in 2010, John Maloney, who lives locally, said, "Why don't you do a festival?" So we started producing a festival together every year, Balnk Comedy Festival. I think that was the only time really we used it. But for us, it's just far too hectic to run 3 venues simultaneously. It's just ridiculous. No, two was enough. So back in the heyday, we're just with that, simultaneous gigs, acts rotating. It it was hectic, but yeah, fun. It was a fantastic thing to do. It meant, people could double up in the same venue rather than schlepping all across town.
Do you know, for comics, that is the ultimate, isn't it? Because you don't even just have to go upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be heaven.
Yeah.
I was going to say, one of the questions we always ask, we have of all our guests is, especially people that have been in their business a long time, I mean, how would you say that comedy has changed over the years since you've been promoting it and watching it, etc.?
Well, obviously, initially, we're part of the whole sort of vanguard of a new, like, alternative comedy movement, which has become which is now the mainstream. So that's changed massively, and it was primarily, not primarily political, but it was very politically charged back in the day. So that's obviously changed an awful lot, the politics of it. Also, it was the only place you could, if you wanted to see a comic, the only place you could really see them was on the stages at a venue, because they weren't on telly. Whereas now they absolutely are.
in a way, Dave.
I mean, fantastic. Fill your boots. But it's not stand up, but that's fine. You know, it's branching off into different sorts of a career for a stand up. But live stand up still. I still love it. I think it's fantastic. And on a mixed bill, you never know what's going to happen. I still think it's fun and dynamic. Not quite the same as it was. I mean, the dynamism back in the 80s and 90s. It was so raw and exciting. As I said, that's the only way you could see a comic. So you'd pick up time out, whatever, and go, oh, I'm going to go to that venue. And there weren't that many venues. So, it's been on the vanguard of a kind of new movement. And that's why I stayed. It was just like, oh, this is just a fantastic thing to be a part of. And it did change comedy, British comedy, or comedy worldwide. It just changed it, you know. Yeah. It won't be the same as it was.
So why did you take the decision to have no MC, which a lot of the older clubs, because it was you and the Bearcats?
That was already a thing that was happening. That was Andy more than anything who started it, and we just carried on, because basically it was like, well, it felt we had a pretty comedy savvy crowd, so it felt like if you had 4 acts, you'd got your money's worth of 4 acts, because obviously you can have a good MC, but you can have not so good an MC. If you're paying for 4 acts, then pay for 4 acts and not somebody who might not work as an MC. I know that's obviously that has lots of flaws in it as a theory, but it generally worked. Except maybe in summer where it was a smaller crowd, it might be difficult for the first act. But you know, that kind of was how it was until a few years ago, where we changed. We eventually caught up. It took 40 years, but we bit the bullet and got a compare.
Does it ever surprise you that in a way that it wasn't picked up by, because it's as Paul has mentioned, it's such an iconic venue and it's beautiful. It would have made an ideal place to film it live for telly, wouldn't it? Really? Did anything ever happen with that?
Things were. Mark Thomas's comedy product was filmed there.
Ah, right. Okay.
Loads of people. I mean, basically, lots of it's been in loads of films or TV shows. It's a sort of place where somebody comes from TV to see the comedy and goes, "Oh, this is an interesting place. We could film such and such here." Loads of things have been filmed there.
Oh, right, okay.
Often without me having any idea. people ringing me up, because they're bound to have got that idea through coming to the comedy. But that's not my venue per se. I don't own the venue. So, you know, there's times people ring me up, do you know Bananas is on? And sometimes, which irks even more, where there's an actual comedy show that's on the TV. But there you go. That's another issue of not running your own, not actually owning the building.
Well, that's the other thing, because there is a claim. Do you claim to be the oldest comedy club in the same venue?
I think it's pretty close with us and the Bearcat.
Yes, yeah, because and plus the other one is now downstairs. The King's Head have claimed it. Pete Graham has claimed it.
Oh, well, that's. Did they not move a room from? Was it always downstairs at the King? Anyway, look, it's fine. It's probably. I would probably say
fight.
Because I want it decided now.
In that case, but somebody once said to me, it wasn't the original room at the King's Head. Now, fine if it is. Look, I'm really not bothered. It's quite close, but I would say the King's Head is slightly older than us anyway.
Well, you should take that off your website then. That's all I'm saying to you.
Look, tell you what, I really will be.
For real in about 3 weeks. Yeah.
And I apologise, Pete.
No, Dave, there's no need for you to apologise. It's not you who's done it. It's the website for the pub. They've stuck it on there.
Oh, have they? Oh, look, the pubs in the past. I'm not blaming the current people, but there's been people who've said, the oldest comedy club in the country, and it's like, just stop it. You can't say that. No. Listen to what say things that we give say things that from our website, whatever. But don't just make stuff up.
We're going to sort this out, actually, on this show. We're going to finally find out. We've had Pete on,
yeah.
We can talk to the Bearcat, sort that out.
Yeah. It's like a mixing of gangsters, who sort it out.
Yeah, you've had Pete on. Now, that's nice. I thought I was going to be the first promoter. I was wondering how you were going to make it funny for 30 minutes.
Oh, that's all right. We've had Spiky Mike, and if we could do it with him, we could do it with anybody.
Nice one, thanks.
I just want to ask Dave, I mean, I know this is a silly question, but why was it called Bananas? Why?
Oh,
whose idea was that? Andy? Was that Andy's idea?
It was. I guess nobody thought it would last that long.
Right.
I think it's a terrible name, but at the same time, wouldn't. From years ago, I think I was talking to Stuart Lee, and I said it was a shit name, and he said, "Yeah, but rebranding. Why rebrand? Everybody knows it, so you stuck with it. That's how it goes." I think because it was a comedy fruit. Yeah, that's what Andy said. And it was just something. It was somewhere. It wasn't going to be going for long. Nobody had any foresight into this carrying on for decades. It was just not very well thought out, or rather, very briefly thought out.
I think it's the best. It's the best of the comedy fruits. You could have had raspberry. You could have had cucumber.
But yeah, and also cabaret, because back then there was all sorts of special acts and many more singing acts. So just stuck with it. But yeah.
I seem to remember I saw Harry Hill there once. I've got to tell you this, I've told you many times before, but one of the best hours of comedy I've ever seen was there at Bananas in the mid-90s, about 96, 97. And the second half was Harry Hill and Al Murray, the pub landlord.
Yeah.
It was just absolutely... But I do remember Harry Hill going on and on and on about Bananas. He just wouldn't stop, because in those days, I don't know whether it's still there was a giant banana at the back, wasn't there, stuck onto the wall. I don't know, it's not still there, is it?
No, that was refurb took that off.
It would have gone off by now, wouldn't it? Surely.
Stink a bit. No, it was brilliant though,
because of the fact that Balham has changed so much. Because I had relatives in Balham, and it was a completely different place in the 70s and 80s. It just makes me think, as the audience must have changed, as all these people have come in, young professionals. And do you think that because sometimes I think that audiences represent the club, or sometimes the club represents the audience in terms of the booking. So you book people that the audience will like. Has that changed your booking style over the years?
I don't know if I book people the audience will like. I would argue most of it's down to me liking them. But no, of course, there's an element to that. And if somebody does a show and the audience likes it and I don't like them, I do feel obliged to book them again. That seems only fair because they've had a great gig.
I'm dying to ask for names now, but
no names.
Unfortunately, I won't give that away. But I found it quite difficult sometimes. It's like, oh, they've really stormed it.
This is interesting from our point of view because, you know, we very rarely get to have this conversation with promoters to hear it from your point of view. It's good.
Yeah, but if the audience don't like somebody and I do, then that's different because I'm just thinking, well, they don't know comedy. But you know, about years ago, those things I used to love it when I could have like Stuart Lee on and half the audience just going, what the fuck's this bloke talking about? And me thinking, this is absolutely, you just don't understand. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, because people were more naive comedy-wise, and people did just stand and go up and going, what's going on with certain acts? You know, people walking out for cognito because they were shocked or whatever.
Because he put a nail in the wall when he started.
Oh, what? Yeah, just people were, yeah. So it was interesting. It's fine. Yeah, so obviously I have the privilege of it being kind of being up to me, and hopefully put bills together that could work. Also, could work for a mixed audience, especially these days, because you've got people who are coming when from back in the day. I have people turning up, going, "Oh God, you're still here," and it's like I remember back in. I go, "Yeah, I am." So
I thought you were dead.
Yeah, there's people coming from the 80s, and also, you know, their children and stuff. So that's kind of cool to have people from like from their 20s to their, and there's even people now who'll bring their fairly young kids. So we've almost got 3 generations.
I mean, and talking about you booking things that you like, one of the best nights I ever saw there, and you were there, and it was me, you, Brian, Andy Waring, and about 2 other people watching Bob Boynton play to a packed audience who absolutely hated everything he said, but he was absolutely fucking brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. And there was 5 of us laughing, but it was that horrible thing where we were pissing ourselves, and then the audience were looking at him and then looking at us like they wanted to kill us. It's still, I think, still remains one of the best comedy gigs I've ever seen. Bob was absolutely on fire that night, you know, and you never stopped booking him, did you?
No, I don't. No, absolutely. Yeah, but then, you know, Kitson used to do that to the audience. He used to alienate the audience just for fun. And I love him. You know, unfortunately, he's coming back to do one more gig for me, which is really nice.
Oh, fantastic.
Because I'm such a massive fan of Daniel's.
This leads us on to another question, and we always ask this, you know, do you think, you said now that how much enjoyment you still get from watching comedy and you still love it. I mean, what would you say that the future of comedy is going to be? How do you see it going in the next 10 years or so?
God.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Well, there'll still be, I don't know, it's been harder to get bums on seats over the last few years, but that's probably to do with the amount of clubs, obviously the amount of TV coverage. I don't know. There's so much on social media that people are doing that. Well, you yourself, you know, you do stuff, Steve. Everybody pretty much does. I don't know if that's watering it down. I mean, there's obviously lots of people who get big on social media without even doing the circuit. But then the circuit can be bypassed. Once upon a time, you kind of had to do the circuit. Now you don't have to do this circuit. You can pretty much go straight to TV, whatever. I don't know. In the next 10 years. No, I really, I've got a feeling it'll just continue in this sort of form. More things happening on social media. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's going to continue in this form, because I'm really looking forward to going to other gigs, which I haven't really done because I've been working on Fridays and Saturdays. And it's something that, because this has been my career, I'll actually, once I stop, I don't want to just stop going to comedy. No. So I'm looking forward to going to other venues. So it better stay something similar for my entertainment.
So why are you, I don't know what's the best word. How would you describe what you're doing with the club? Because you're stopping doing it, but the club is going to continue.
I'm consigning Banana Cabaret to history. I'm stopping doing it myself because, as it takes up, because I'm getting quite old. No, and I just want to break. I'll really miss the comedy aspect, but running your own business and just doing all the admin and shit like it's, and the stress of numbers and and staff, permanent staff. I just don't want. I just want to stop running my own business, but I don't want to stop being going to comedy. I'm sure that it'll be. I'll keep in touch with people and just rock up to their gigs every so often.
I was just thinking, though, could you help yourself if you go to another comedy club, just sat there at the back thinking, I wouldn't do that. They've got this wrong.
Look, mate, I was going to say, this is my worst thing. If I can't get over the fact, because this is what I've always done, going to other venues, it's like, is this one better than mine? Or how many people have they got in? How are they doing that? How's that set up? Or they're not doing it. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. So, if I can't just watch the comedy, I might just have to knock it on the head. But yeah, I'm terrible. I'm really good at assessing how many people are in a room.
This should use you to assess how many people are on demonstrations. 6,000.
I only work in hundreds.
I mean, it's a shame because I thought it would have been a grim finish between you, Pete Graham, and what's his name at the Bearcats? Because will the name pass over? No,
that's
it's gone.
Well, because I just wanted to stop, and it's not my venue to gift or anything like that. My kids don't want to do it, so it's just I'm stopping, and I kind of quite like the idea of consigning it to history, because as one comic said to me, if somebody else had the name, you'd be looking all the time to go, is it doing better or worse? It would be a wind up either way. So it's been around a long time. So it actually feels like quite nice to be a part of the history of the sort of alternative comedy circuit and British comedy circuit for over 4 decades. It's cool.
Dear God. Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? It's a hell of a long time.
Yeah. Well, mate, you were there before I was.
Oh, shit, don't remind me. I've got to tell you one of my favourite... I did say that about recording stuff, but I did a Radio 4 thing there once. Produced, it's called 4 at the... 4 on the floor or something, and we recorded a show there, and it was like live comedy, but Big Raffo got really pissed and was wandering around the gallery during the recording of a live radio show shouting at the acts, "You're fucking shit, you are." Anyway, he got thrown. They had to get bouncers to throw him out, and this recording had to be stopped. He's going, "I'm only having a laugh." Oh my God. Oh dear. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
There's been a lot of nights that you've done. Is there any sort of ones that come back to you? I
knew you'd ask this. I've been trying to think about it. No, I mean, it's all a bit of a blur because there's so many bits. It's not just single nights. There's so many. There was a real heyday where it was, people were getting encores. It was just so. Oh, it's such a buzz, and so I don't know. No, there's certain. There's nothing that I can remember per se. There's certain like full-length shows that people did, like one of Tim Vine's for our Balnk Comedy Festival, where I've never seen just so many people who kind of can hardly breathe. It's just so infectious what Tim does. And when it gets to 40 minutes and people just losing their shit and not being able to control themselves and hardly being able to breathe, it was fantastic to see a whole audience just the ridiculousness of what Tim does. To see an audience that helpless with laughter, it was just astonishing. That's what we're there for. I suppose, another one. Actually, I wasn't even here for this one, which was Keith Dover wandering out into the audience and hitting a bloke because he was being a twat. I missed that, but that was meant to be a really exciting night.
I bet it was. Fantastic.
So, one final question. Any advice that you would give to the new people who are going to take over that venue?
No, because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I just done what I've done, and it's Banana Cabaret, and that's it now. I don't know them anyway.
And I take it you're not going to be nipping in.
Not there. I'll go to other venues.
You could turn up in disguise, pissed, and just stand at the back, couldn't you?
I might go back to the pub. It'd be weird. It'd be weird to go back to the comedy. I might go back to the pub to do stuff. I know people up in Balham and stuff. And Jimmy, who works for me, might go and watch the football with him or something like that. And Ross, who's the resident compere. But I'd feel too weird to go back to the actual comedy venue, but I'm looking forward to going to venues. I mean, I've been to the Fort, Stephen Grant's venue, the Forge in Brighton. Obviously, I live down around here, and I'm looking forward to going there because I've never been there because I work weekends.
Can I just ask one quick question at the end? I just want to know, and I know this is a weird one. How many acts would you estimate have played Banana Cabaret?
God.
So 40 years, 52 weeks a year, 4 acts. It's a lot. But
duplicates don't count, or
of course, it's not different for every night.
That falls down then, doesn't it? I reckon it must be about 20,000
to go and think. Well, how many of you? If you count as one, you've done a lot of them.
That takes 1,000 off. Just you.
Something like that.
And I've got my 4. Take them off.
I could, including the night the bloke threatened to stab me and you had to walk me to the tube station. Do you remember that day? He said, I'm going to cut you. I'm going to fucking cut you.
It wouldn't be one of our podcasts without you telling a story about some bloke wanting to inflict violence on you. It's the
I don't know what it is.
It's the theme of your life.
It's not my fault.
Well, you're the only consistent person in these stories.
Yeah, I'm the common denominator.
I think we're going to finish up. Well, thank you for being on our podcast.
Thanks, Dave. That was brilliant. See you soon. Cheers.
Nice.
Bye. So that was Dave Vickers.
Dave.
And there's we've sort of had a little bit of a theme of people chucking comedy in over the last couple of podcasts.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And we asked them, what do you think about the future of comedy? And they go, well, how do I know? I'm just giving it all up.
Yeah, I couldn't give a fucking shit. It was great. I mean, it's very nice to talk to him. And we wish him well.
I think he's served. He's done his time. 40 years, long enough.
What do you think people should get when they retire from, promoters should get when they retire from comedy? Like, it used to be a clock, didn't it, or a watch? Or what should promoters get? I don't know.
They should get a final full house, because that's the one thing that would make them really happy. They just basically see every seat is full and people queuing around the block.
Yeah.
And they go, thank you so much. It's the most perfect present you could ever give me.
Either that or a sculpture with her actual bum on the seat, like that, made of stone, so they can put it in there. Or a red light Well, that's got different connotations, especially in Balnk.
Yes, not anymore.
Given the history,
Balnk.
yeah, not anymore.
Red light means probably sort of hypnotherapist these days.
Yeah. That used to be the stomping ground of Cynthia Payne, didn't it?
Really?
Famous,
she was more Streatham. She was up the hill a bit.
Right.
Up the hill.
Up the hill and round the bend. Yeah. That was Dave Vickers anyway. We thoroughly enjoyed that. And we say R.I.P. Banana Cabaret, 1983 to 2026.
Yes, and we will get to the bottom of the oldest comedy club in the UK in the same building. It won't be Banana Cabaret anymore because it's done. So now we're down to just 2 contestants.
Yeah, the Bearcat and downstairs at the King's Head.
And we're going to get someone on from the Bearcat, hear their story.
Yeah, get James on.
Yeah, I think I will.
James, if you're watching or listening, come on to our podcast.
Yeah, we're going to get you on. I'll send him a message. Yeah. Well, I'll ask him.
Yeah,
we need to know.
Actually.
The country needs to know.
It's vital.
If you've enjoyed this wonderful podcast, please tell your friends, your neighbours, your relatives.
Yes.
Small cats.
Yeah.
Pet dogs.
Big cats. Yeah.
Don't tell your goldfish. You won't remember.
No. Tell your elephant. They'll never forget.
Of course. In the corner of the room. That we never talk about.
Yeah, tell everybody you know, basically. Tell everyone.
Yeah, and subscribe, buy us a coffee. You can. There's an option just so you just send me money directly. I might not spend it on coffee, which I could do with now. People might notice that my voice is particularly gravelly today.
Gravelly.
I went out on the lash last night, so you're lucky that I'm here. But I think it's about time we say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, bananas. Goodbye, bananas.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye, bananas.
They said you should have been here last week. I swear, you should have been here last week. Oh yeah, you should have been here last week.